Welcome, everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here live with you for Sassy AF TV. Oh my gosh, I forgot to think about what episode number this is. Season 3, episode, I think it's 24. But I'm very thrilled to bring you my special guest today, Miss Annie Leib. Her platform is called Living with Annitude, and Annitude, Living with Annitude. I clearly can't even speak. I'm so excited because if I could pair myself, my sassy as fuck self, with someone equally sassy as fuck, it's Annie Leib, Living with Annitude. She's amazing. So let me bring her on screen so we can share, have some fun, and welcome you to this fun conversation. Annie!
Hello, how are you? I'm so psyched to be here on your first real LinkedIn Live. How are you, girlfriend?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good. I know, I'm so stoked. This has been like such a fun evolution of my Sassy AF TV because I think I told you how I started it on Facebook Live, and that was over a year ago. And it was a lot of fun doing it, but then there were some different technology complications, and it gave me more flexibility to record it and put it on Zoom and put it in different platforms, blah, 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 all that stuff. But now I'm like, this is so awesome to be able to stream it to LinkedIn, to stream it to Facebook, to YouTube, everywhere, all at once. Oh, it feels so good. And I love the
best
energy
part
of the
whole
live.
show. I'll tell you the best part. I already told you when we were backstage. The best part is that I don't have to do the interviewing. I was getting ready. I was like a little bit nervous. And then I was like, oh my God, I don't have to do, like, I'm always on the other side. And now I'm like free. It's
okay.
amazing.
So from a pro interviewer, because you do more interviews than I think anybody that I know, which is amazing. I want to know, like, what's your prep? What do you do to prep yourself?
Okay, so this is a perfect lead-in, actually, to what you and I want to focus on, I think, because we didn't really do too much prep. But I don't do a lot of prep. I don't do a lot of prep at all. That is totally how I roll. I like barely know. Sometimes it's somebody that I know well, but it's usually somebody that I'm really, truly learning about. And I think the authentic piece of really learning about them live is my favorite part. Like, I love that part. I love being like, tell me what you do. Like, tell me what your whole spiel is. Like, tell me what, I love to just really find out the first time when I'm asking them. So I don't really do any prep. I just show up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I just want to say for everybody watching, if you are watching this live and you want to say hello, please do drop a comment. And if you have any questions for us, as we're talking about authenticity today and just showing up as ourselves in life, in all things, in relationships, in business, in all of it, please feel free to drop a comment, say hello, let us know you're here, and drop any questions. What about the prep around like the mental game? Because let's be real for a minute, Annie, even for you and I think we're both extroverts. We're both in it to win it. We both have passion and a mission and serve a purpose in doing what we're doing. But there's always still that like little nervous energy, that like, butterflies in your stomach sort of thing. So how do you get in the mental game?
Well, I do some serious deep breathing prior to coming on live. I did tonight. So it's almost like a meditative deep breathing. And it's not to take away that energy that I have, that you have. We have that similar sort of bubbly, positive energy going on. It's not to take that away, because I love that. Like the excitement that I show and that you show, like, oh, tell me. I want to hear everything. Like, that's real, like, I don't want to take that away. I don't want to be like, that's not who I am. Like, I'm not like, I'll give you an example. Last night do you know Jay Abbasi? I had Jay Abbasi on.
Only through LinkedIn. And I did watch your interview because I think he's fascinating. So I watched half of it. Yeah. But
like, here's the thing. Every time I asked he's amazing. And every time I asked a question, he was like, well, and he would answer. And I was like fascinated by this person that could pause, think about it for a second, not worry about it taking an extra second or two, and then come back with an answer. Like, I was really motivated to do that, but it's so not how I'm wired that I'm like biting my tongue, like really like actually biting my tongue to not speak right away, because that's how I am. And he's a Jersey guy. So I'm like, how did you become this mindful? Because I practice mindfulness, but I'm not there. So I just show up as me. It's the only way I know how. Like, if someone said tone it down, I would have to like physically, I don't know what I would do. That's why I
gotta close my window. Hold on. This is the beauty of live. My neighbor's like revving up his motorcycle. All right.
I didn't hear anything.
But I love that. I love that that's, you're just showing up as you should be.
Hallie, like a lot of my life and a lot of my story has to do with being pushed down and having people sort of try to take that sparkle away from me and try to make me not be that way and try to sort of put me in a box. And like part of my story is that I just don't fit in those boxes. Like I just don't. So I just decided one day I'm going to work toward not ever being pushed there again. And I have there is no box like that for me. I just won't allow it. So if someone wants to tone it down or they're like, she's too much for me, then that's great. You don't have to come on my show and we don't really have to interact. Like, this is who I am. I have to be unapologetic about it. Like you always say, right? I have to be unapologetic about it.
Right. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Kelly, who's here from Australia. How cool is that, by the way? Hi, Kelly. I'm so glad you're here. You have to meet Kelly, Annie. She is so fun. I see Ray is in the house. Hi, Ray. And hi, Gold. You're getting a shout out for Annie. I wanted you to see that. Annie is my favorite person ever.
Yes.
Beautiful.
We have a thing. We have a thing.
I love it. I love it. Well, here's a couple of things I want to pick up on. And then I want to, if you don't mind, I'd love to do a little bit of a deep dive on this, what got you out of living in that box. But when it comes to mindfulness, because I get this question a lot, and I used to have this misconception, is I used to think that mindfulness, meditation, going inward, I used to think, first of all, that you had to do it perfectly, number one.
Right.
And I also used to think that there was like one way to do it. Right. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, because I resisted it for a very long time because I had this image of, a monk sitting on top of a mountain in the like kumbaya position with the hands like this and deep breathing. And I'm like, hell no, I cannot even quiet myself for that long. But I've learned to quiet myself a little bit, but it's certainly not to that extreme. And yet I still find that I practice meditation and mindfulness and I can go to those places, but it might be different for me than it is for you, than it is for the next person. So I'm wondering how that resonates with you.
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
Where's Jay? We need Jay to like watch this.
I know, right now. That I just did that. That was so uncomfortable for me, by the way. I was like, it's like a lot of seconds. So I think I need to give an analogy. Like as a friend, as a girlfriend of mine, I mean, we're colleagues, but we're also like girlfriends and we connect on both levels, personally and professionally. And I think the way you would say to me, Annie, like your show or who you are or everything about you, I just want you to be you. Like, I just want you to show up as you and come as you are. That might be up one day. That might be a little more down one day. That might be however it is that you are. It's the same thing with mindfulness. It's like however you show up and how you do it is the right way. There is no perfect way. Just like there's no perfect way for us to run a show or to be on live, or there's no perfect, there's no wrong, there's no she screwed it up. Like we're just here and like you allow me to be me. And that's partly why I couldn't wait to be your first guest on your LinkedIn Live, because it's so powerful to have somebody lift you up, because I feel like I do that for so many people, and to have you do that for me and with me is so amazing. And you allow me and I allow you to allow me to be that way and show up as myself. And that's like a big differentiator for me. One time I made a video on LinkedIn that I put out and I said, I am deciding today to allow others to allow me to be me. And it was like a big turning point for me, because it's like, we just are who we are and we have to stop pretending that we're something else, because that's when things are like sort of wrong, because they're not authentic. And when you're not showing up as your true self, you're just, there's a disingenuous piece of that. So, it's analogous to me. Mindfulness is to just being who you are and being authentic. So it really ties in nicely to what we're talking about.
Well, and the other piece too is that holding space, right? I'm able to hold space for you to be you without judgment, without preconceived ideas. I'm not scripting conversation. I'm not saying to you, Annie, I want you to say this, this, and this, because I've written down a whole bunch of questions we probably won't even get to, which is perfectly fine, because it's more interesting and more engaging this way. But I want to hold that space for you to be able to be yourself. And I love this idea of allowing and receiving. One of my big themes that has come up for me over the last few months. I want to backtrack and just share that about 1 year ago, I made the decision that in 2020, my word of the year was going to be surrender. And how true have I had to surrender to like pretty much everything in 2020, right? I think we all have. We have to surrender to so many changes in all sorts of situations. So that keeps coming back to me again and again. And I pull oracle cards every day, and I almost always pull this one that's about surrendering. But the other piece of it is allowance. So I say allow, release, surrender, because you have to allow the situation, hold the space either for yourself or for others, release expectations, release pressure, release that perfectionism, and surrender to the present moment.
Yes. I am with you 100%. And it's so funny that you picked a word going into, do you know Genergy? Are you connected with that?
I do.
Okay. So Genergy and I were doing a podcast one time, and we were talking about the word that we picked. And we both, before we knew what 2020 was going to bring, which is total insanity, as we all know, we both chose the word allow. And we didn't know each other yet, but we chose allow. And to your point, how much have we had to allow this year and truly lean into allowing, you know? And it's the same thing with surrendering and allowing. And both of those words to me are so, if you're looking through a different lens, it could seem weak. You're allowing, you're letting, you're surrendering, you're waving the white flag. The other side of things through the lens that I'm looking through now, allowing and surrendering is so empowering. Like I am so empowered when I allow things to be. And when I surrender to what is around, what is around us and what's happening, I just have to allow, I just have to turn it over and say, this is what's going to be.
Right, exactly. So I'm curious, because you said earlier that you had a moment in time where you made a choice, a decision to stop allowing others, talking about allowing, to put you in a box. And you no more, I'm going to be myself. That's a really bold personal decision to make. Say, I'm going to stop following others' ideas and I'm going to be me, myself, authentically. Could you share a little bit more about what that maybe triggering event was and what was the catalyst to get you out of your box?
I don't know if it was one particular event, but I can tell you there was a transformative period in my life where I went back to get my MBA. I had little kids at home. I was working part-time and starting my own business. There was a lot going on. I was engaged at the time, and there was so much happening at once. And I was forced to see myself as who I really am. And I was accepted by those in my cohort, my class that I was in, where we basically were at war together. That's what happens when you're, 40 and you go back to get your MBA, you're like at war with these people. So that's how it felt. I mean, every weekend, almost every night, teamwork on the phones, and, you have a life and you're trying to work and earn money and also have kids and be a mom. And it's just really, really hard. And you really I really started to see my true self. Some of it wasn't pretty. Some of it I didn't like so much. And some of it I was like, wow, you have some balls, girl. Like you are doing this. You have cojones. Like, how are you? People would say, how are you doing it? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just doing it. So there was a point where it was such a transformation to where I was a little bit like hesitant at first. And then I just started to relax and see that I was a great team player and a great leader. And I loved entrepreneurship, and I could do as much as everybody else, if not, some of it even better. And I could really write papers, and I could do all these things that like I probably didn't think I could do. And I was doing them all at the same time as working and being a parent and all of those things. So it was transformative in that I like fell and leaned into myself, where I was like, you know what? I don't need to pretend anymore. I'm doing all this, and this is who I am. And I took those yucky pieces that I saw, and I was like, let's shift a little bit and let's lean into the good stuff. And I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. I like make fun of myself all the time. I have total self-deprecating sense of humor, and I screw up a lot. But I think part of it is being able to step back and say, I'm going to take responsibility for the way I acted. I'm going to do things differently next time. When I lay my head on the pillow at night, I always say, what did I do today that I could do better tomorrow? And it's not a shame and blame game. It's just a reflection, and I journal, and I just sort of have fallen into this like authentic person and showing up as my best self. And like, I don't know any other way to be now. So it's like, I can't go back. There's no going back, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. And 100% relate to that, because when you are in a place of about radical self-awareness, and I would say that you are in a place of radical self-awareness, meaning you're aware of all the parts of yourself, the whole parts of you, flaws and all. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful, because when we can really see ourselves for who we are and understand that we can always have the opportunity to learn and to grow and do better, right?
Work in
There's
progress all
always,
the time. Work in
always.
progress.
But when you don't have that awareness, that's when you get stuck. And I think that's when people get into this stuck space. And I know that you were talking about, I think you posted this today, maybe. You talked about your mantra. And I'd love for you to share about that, if you don't mind, because affirmations and mantras is something that's been the cornerstone of my transformation in terms of what I've used to. And when I saw that, I was like, good Lord, could we be any more connected? Like,
could not be any more aligned.
I mean, it's crazy, but I love, it is so transformative to be able to say these words that make such an impact, because it just gives you that self-awareness so that you can take action toward being the best version of yourself every single day.
I agree with you. So it is funny. We are so closely linked and aligned in so many ways that oftentimes you'll post something or I'll post something and I see something so similar with what the other person just did. It's like, did we discuss this? And we didn't.
Right.
So we're really both sassy AF. But, I've had a really long journey. I was part of one of the biggest parts of my story is that I was misdiagnosed for 25 years with depression and anxiety, when in fact I was finally in 2014 correctly diagnosed with bipolar 2. And I had been mismedicated, and I had just everything was sort of wrong, and all of these behaviors and things I was doing weren't matching up with my true self. So life sort of fell apart. And in 2014, I started to build my life back up because I was properly diagnosed and I was able to function better and make better choices and just have an overall better mental health and well-being. And when I got on the right medication and I was in the right therapy and I was in the right mindset, I started to build myself back up. And it was a brick by brick type thing. I mean, it was so bad in my times of darkness that I was hospitalized at one point. And I only recently shared that at a online rally that I did, the Worthy Online Rally for Kindness and Hope. And I just wanted to share that part of my story because I wanted other people to know, it's not always positive, shiny rainbows and sunshine Annitude. That's not what Annitude is about. Annitude is having gone through a lot, having seen the darkness. And what I talked about in the mantra is that I was in my darkest days. I mean, where there were days that I prayed that the sun wouldn't come up because I couldn't face another day. That's how bad it was. And then I started to pull out of it. And I just said to myself, I need a mantra. What's my mantra? And what came to me was, today, just do something different. Do something different that you haven't done. So whatever I started that day, whether it was journaling or deep breathing or taking a long walk, being in nature, something that was a little out of my comfort zone, it was just do something different. And it resonates with me so much so that 6.5 years later, I have someone very close to me that's sort of in that stuck place right now. And I said to her, so funny that you bring this up because I got a really good text today, but I said to her, this seems so simple and silly, but it's just do something different. And today I got a text, this was yesterday, and today I got a text from her. She went running and she took a picture of herself and she said, doing something different. Aww. So I was like, oh my God, I made an impact, because some people think a mantra has to be this deep, all these good words together. It was as simple as just do something different. And it changed my whole world.
That's amazing. Do you still practice that every day?
Yeah. I mean, I have a ritual that a routine of how I do things every day. And I have to tell you, Hallie, that when I'm off and I don't practice the things that I need to be practicing, if it's gratitude, if it's, it is gratitude, it's meditation, it's deep breathing, it's exercise. When I have days that I'm off, my entire day is off. Everything is off. As boring as it sounds to be so routine, it's part of my life and who I am. And when I don't have those pieces, it starts to crumble. Not totally fall apart, but I see the shifts and the differences. Right. And when I have those affirmations and those things that I can say to myself, today, you're not feeling great, but it's okay. Allowing, and doing something different, all those things that I have in my head. And also lifting and helping others really helps me too. So I try to always bring that in. If I'm feeling really crappy, it's amazing what writing a gratitude list and calling a friend and helping them through something can do for me.
That's huge. Well, and gratitude, there's a lot of psychological studies that talk about the benefits of gratitude because it takes the focus off ourselves and it puts the focus elsewhere, because you can be grateful for even, the beauty around you in nature, or you can be grateful for someone putting a smile on your face. And
it's amazing. The littlest thing, like a belly laugh, or just a moment. And, I've said this a million times, people get sick of hearing it, but I'm a big supporter of I don't believe in chasing happiness. I don't believe that there's this happy state of mind. I don't think that there is a state of mind. I think happiness is in moments. So what I do when I write my gratitude journal, and when my gratitude alarm goes off on my phone, which undoubtedly it will tonight when I'm in the middle of something, it's always on during my show. I hit live and my gratitude alarm goes off because it's 8 p.m. When that goes off, I stop and I pick the moments from that day that really affected me. So it's not like I'm grateful. I mean, some people might say I'm grateful for my health and all those things, but I'm grateful for when my son smiled at me the way that only he can. Mm-hmm. There's just these moments, these flashes in time that I can grasp and put in my pocket for later. Those are the things that I'm grateful for. And I find when I can grab onto those moments, then I'm brought back to center and I can see why life is the way it is and why we're here and doing what we're doing.
Right. Absolutely. So one of the questions I actually did write down, and I would love to ask you is, and if you could take a moment, so if you want to close your eyes or take a breath, but I wanted to know what is something that you are grateful for right now in this moment.
Okay. I have incredible support in my life right now in this moment that I reach out to, and I'm not very good at reaching out for help. That's not my strong suit. So I work on that. I'm a work in progress, but I have the most incredible support in my life right now that I would not be able to function fully without. So I'm grateful for that support. It's truly a godsend, and something that sometimes I'm like, why am I so lucky, to have this incredible support in my life? And I've done a lot of things on my own, Hallie, a lot of things I've done on my own. And it is really nice to have just the people in my life and the support pushing me to be better each day.
I love that. That's cool. Thank you for sharing. And also I would say that you put out such a positive energy of love and gratitude and appreciation that it is the reward that you get for living with Annitude and living in your best life, that you get to receive that. And the fact that you allow that support and love to come in, because it's so easy for us to push it away, right? Because it's a defense mechanism.
Yes.
So I think that that's really beautiful that you allow for that support. And that's a beautiful lesson you're teaching your children, you're teaching your clients, you're teaching everybody that sees you show up the way that you do. Yeah, and that is so awesome. So I just wanted to
appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. And you do the same for me. I mean, every time I see your post and I talk to you, and if we text or if we communicate, I feel the same way with your positive energy and your light and what you bring to the table and just who you are as a person. I just love it. I think you glow, and I think hopefully we're getting across that same message, because I know we're so on the same page.
I think so. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I want to know, earlier today, we were chatting about fun and doing things that are fun. So what's something that really just lights you up and makes you feel so fun and alive? It's just like you are just glowing from all parts of yourself.
I mean, there's a number of things, but we do something in my house when things are getting rough or crazy. We stop and we do a cuddle puddle. And so what that is,
tell me about it.
You lay down, and then the kids pile on top of you, but it's your body's dead. You're you lay on each other, but I can't explain it. You don't you have no muscle, there's no, you're not stiff as a board. You're just a ragdoll. That's the word, we're ragdoll. And we just puddle in this puddle and cuddle on top of each other. And we just end up starting hysterical laughing, even if we were just yelling at each other, even if we were just stressed. There's something about the kids and their laughs, and in the midst of everything, just stop for a minute and and my daughter Evie's cuddle puddle, and my son undoubtedly is no cuddling. And then of course he wants to, because he doesn't want to be left out. So we stop and we cuddle puddle. And that's something that lights me up. Football is another thing that really lights me up. I love the NFL football. So
okay, that's one area we differ. I can't figure it out to save my life. But maybe someday you can explain to me that damn yellow line, because I just don't get it.
It's in my blood. It's been, my dad took me to the first game when I was 3. I can't not like it. Like I want to, trust me, being a Philadelphia Eagles fan, there's plenty of times when I've been like, I'm taking up sewing. I'm going to be that girl that shops on Sundays. But no, it just, it doesn't happen. It lights my fire. It's coming off of me. I'm a screaming maniac. Like I can't even date people that like don't understand football because I'm like, you're not going to get this at all. So
the cuddle puddle meets football sounds like a tackle sort of situation. Like how
it does. Amazing. My kids think I'm insane. My son is like, stop yelling. Like it's embarrassing, Mom. Like I'm like a maniac. So amazing. There's a couple things. There's writing really, really lights me up. I love to write. And I love, it's going to sound cheesy, but I love to make my quick flip videos. Like when I make those videos, and I was inspired today. That's why I was like, I want to tell you about this mantra. Like I want to help somebody. And like afterwards, I'm like beaming. Like I'm so excited that I did that. I'm like, I don't even care if anybody likes it. I'm just putting it out to the world. And I have so much love to give that I feel like that lights me up too.
That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. Quick fire questions for you. So these ones you can't think about.
All right.
Are you ready? You ready for the quick fire round? Here we go.
I'm ready.
All right. Speed round. Reading right now.
Wait, hold on. You broke up. What?
What are you reading right now?
I am reading. Oh, here. It's right here. Steve Nudelberg, Confessions of a Serial Salesman.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, these are the things I read. Okay. It's all business all the time.
All right. Do you have a guilty pleasure show or movie?
Yeah. If The Godfather's on, I can't turn it off. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter what time of day. So whoever's there needs to go away from me and let me watch.
Can you do an accent? Can you do The Godfather in impersonation?
I won't try, but I can quote the entire movie. And I'm not talking about the cannolis. I'm talking about real quotes that like you wouldn't believe that I knew. You'd think I was crazy.
Oh,
I live my life in this movie.
I believe you. Okay, well, speaking of cannolis, what's your favorite food?
These are hard for me. Cheese.
Off the cuff. Come on.
Cheese.
Cheese, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheese.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice.
I'm not a sweet girl.
What song are you dancing to right now?
Oh, right now. What's that song? Wait. Stop. I don't like these quick ones. Wait. If all the queens were. Yeah. Yes.
Kings and Queens. I love that one. That's on my playlist too.
I love that song. That's like my dance right now song.
I do too. I don't even know all the lyrics. I'm so bad at lyrics. I like butcher them and I have to like look them up and then I'll be like, oh, that's what it's saying. But I love that one and something about like toasting with the champagne. And
yes,
I love
it. It's all about women, girl power, man.
It's so good. It's so good. Who is the most influential person in your life?
I have to say that my children are, and I'll tell you why. I'm not just saying that to be cheesy either. I learn from seeing through their eyes every single day. So watching life through their eyes is a whole other ballgame. So I get my lens and I get their lens.
I love it. That's special. That's special. Make sure they know that. I'm sure you tell them all the time, but.
Yeah. I'm like, shut up. Stop talking already. No, I don't say that. Yeah.
Why
do you have to eat all the time? You never stop eating. No,
right? Cuddle. All right. Here's my last one. What makes you feel sassy as fuck?
My quilted faux leather pants.
Why have I not seen these?
I have to show. I'll send you a picture because they are bad.
I want a text. ASAP.
I'll send you a text.
What color are they?
Black.
Amazing.
They're so moto. They're quilted faux leather moto pants.
That's amazing. I'll send you back a picture of my shiny.
You hear how every single question I had like no answer for, and that one I was like, here's what's that?
Oh my God, I love that so much. That's awesome. So before we wrap, I want you just to share a little bit about what is Living with Annitude. Tell us about your podcast and how people can get in touch with you. And I'm going to put up your website here too.
Okay, awesome. Living with Annitude is my YouTube channel and my life mantra. It is more than words. It's it started as a play on words, Annitude, but it's a way of life. It's showing up as my most authentic self each day, as my best, truest, most authentic self, and helping other people to uncover and to find their and to act as their truest selves each day. So living with Annitude is positivity and radiance and showing up as you. And people can find me on LinkedIn as Annie Leib, and you can go to my website and check me out. And I'm supposedly I'm everywhere, so it won't be
everywhere.
hard to find.
She's everywhere. I love it. I love it. Well, I also have something special for you. And actually, it's funny because Michael asked a few moments ago for an oracle card. Well, I don't have oracle cards on me right in my hand, but what I do have is my Sassy AF affirmation card. So I want to pull one for you as my special guest. And I'll just offer to anybody in the audience watching, even if you're watching this in replay, if you want to come back and drop me a comment and say, I want a card pull, I will pull one for you and I'll send it to you in a DM. But this one is for Annie. So I'm shuffling the cards. Got to do a little affirmation. Shuffle and shuffling. What's that song? I don't remember. LMFAO.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Every day I'm shuffling.
I think it's every day I'm hustling. But
oh, yeah. So I don't know. COVID, by the way, I was doing a dance party. We did a dance party 3 days a week virtually with the kids. It was so fun. It was like on Zoom and it was amazing. And my son asked me the other day, he's like, are we going to go back to that virtual dance party? That was fun. I'm like, that song came up very frequently.
Ooh, I love it.
Oh, this is like the, okay, I just picked this randomly, by the way. I just shuffled randomly. Perfect for you.
Sweet thing. You're full of love and positivity. I love that.
That is so you.
That's one of my favorite songs of all time, by the way. Sweet Thing is one of my favorites by Van Morrison, is one of my favorite songs of all time. So that's pretty amazing.
I did not know that. This is the universe right here. Sweet Thing, you are full of love and positivity. Could Annie have gotten a better card? So
I don't think so.
That is so awesome. So if anybody else would like an affirmation card pull, just drop a comment and I will send that to you in a DM. Well, this has been so much fun. I can't wait till we can do this again. I know I'm going to be on your show in January. That will be a blast. I just want to express my gratitude to you, Annie. You've just been a light since we first met when I was off to get my guinea pigs. Your energy has just been amazing. You're so full of love and light. And I love the fact that you show up on a mission to bring joy and purpose and passion to this world. And it's not about likes or comments or vanity metrics or any of that bullshit that nobody cares about or shouldn't care about. Yeah. You show up, impact, and you're making an impact. And I just want to express my gratitude.
Thank you.
And I love you.
Love you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been awesome. Thank you everyone for watching. I so appreciate you. Drop comments. Let us know you were here. And make sure you tune in every Wednesday for another episode of Sassy AF TV. You can also check out the audio recording on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, all the places. There will be audio there as well. So I will see y'all later. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.
And then there's like a